If you're looking to buy a home in Halifax and you're looking for the best ways to search for properties that are for sale, then you are in luck because this video is for you. Today, I'm going to talk about the top 3 ways to search for homes for sale if you're looking in the HRM. And if you're coming from out of province, you might think that realtor.ca is the best site to search for homes. And I'm not saying it's not good, but that might not be the case depending on your personal preference, as in Nova Scotia, we have a specific site for Nova Scotia homes for sale. So make sure you stick around to the end to see all 3 options, and then you can decide which one is best. But before I get into it, if you're new here, my name's Andrew Stevens, and I've been a realtor in Halifax for 9 years now. And if you're looking to be educated on the Halifax real estate market, then this is the channel for you. So go ahead and hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. If you're looking to make a move in Halifax, or if you just want to chat with me about the real estate market, you can reach out to me anytime in the Calendly link below my description at a time when it's convenient for you. Okay, so getting right into it, here's the top 3 ways to look for homes in the HRM. And these 3 sites are realtor.ca, Viewpoint, and Collaboration Center. So in no specific order, let's get right into it and let's talk about realtor.ca. So this site was developed by the Canadian Real Estate Association, also known as CREA, and this would be one of the main sites to look for homes across the country as it's in every province in Canada. It's a fairly standard real estate web page and it's pretty easy to use, and they've made a lot of great upgrades lately, such as they've recently added sold prices to their data, which they were not showing before. So now if you're looking for homes on realtor.ca, you can actually see sold prices in your neighborhood. Okay, so this one is the realtor.ca platform. This is what it looks like. So a fairly standard real estate website. If you go here, you can see the map and you can zoom in, you can zoom out, and you can see if you click a certain area, such as the North End, for example, and you hover over this, you can see all the listings right in this particular area, like so. And then you have all the newest listing info here on the left-hand side. So for example, if I click on this one here on Jennings Street in Halifax, it'll bring up this page here, which is the specific web page for this listing exactly. So you can see all of the pictures here. If you click them, they'll get bigger, right? So you can scroll through all of the listing pictures. This is a nice spot in the south end of Halifax. And you go down, you can see, the address, you can see a feature video. If there's any feature videos here, you can get info on the neighborhood. You can get area or statistics on the area, listing description, and all the info is down here like a typical real estate web page with the room sizes and so on. And then it will also show you some similar listings here as well. Okay, so moving on to number 2, and this one is called Collaboration Center. So this system is specific to realtors, and if you're working with a realtor in HRM, they can set this up for you. And by the way, you should be working with a realtor if you're looking for a home in Halifax and surrounding area, because in the history of the Halifax real estate market, this is pretty much the most difficult time ever to purchase a home in the HRM. So you need to make sure you have a realtor working for you that can help you through this process, as right now it's fairly complex and it's not super easy to get to the finish line. This system is pretty powerful as it's on the back end of our MLS system, and we can really set the parameters very specifically, and we can map out areas and so on. So we do this for all our buyers on our team, and a lot of realtors in the city would do this. So we set all our buyers up, and we also encourage them to keep looking on their own sites as well. But we set our buyers up, and it can notify you when new listings hit the market that hit your criteria. And we can make it extremely specific. So for example, if you're looking for a 2-story home in the West End or North End of Halifax, we can actually pick by district, or we can map it off to specific blocks of what we're looking for. And we can say the bedrooms, bathrooms, style, and all that. And we can narrow it down extremely specific, a lot more specific than you can on, say, realtor.ca or the 3rd site that I'm going to show you next. So on your end as a buyer, this is what the interface looks like. So this one here is Collaboration Center. So this is a search that I had set up for myself just to show you guys how this works, but I basically put in houses for sale in the North End and the West End, but I can narrow this down a lot more. So there's a couple things I like about this platform specifically. This will email you directly if there's any new listings that hit your criteria during that day. And you can set it up so that it emails you immediately when these listings hit the market, or you can set it up that you just get one email at the end of each day or each week if that's what you choose to do. So this is the main portal page here. So this is all the listings that hit my criteria for the search that I had set up. And this shows the addresses. It shows a little sneak peek of the listing description, how many bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, and how many days on the market. So for example, this one here on Ashburn Avenue, if I click it, then it's going to bring me to that web page specifically. So it's going to show me all the details similar to realtor.ca, all the listing details, the room sizes, and so on. You can get the map view. You can see the lifestyle report, walkability. Has a lot of great info on here. One other cool thing about this one, just while I get this out of the way here, is that you can compare listings as well, and you can like them or you can reject them. So if somebody likes these listings down in here, they click this favorite button, then I, as the buyer's agent, will get notified of that as well. And you can also reject them, and that will come through to me as well. And you can compare two listings. So if I hit these two here, if you're looking at two things side by side and you want to know the differences, well, you can put them side by side and it will show you all the info side by side so that you can compare and contrast for these two listings. So last and certainly not least, let's move on to number 3, and that is Viewpoint. So this is the Nova Scotia specific website that I was talking about at the start of this video. It's extremely powerful. It has a lot of data, and I would say it is a favorite for a lot of home buyers in Nova Scotia. And to me, this one is most interesting because of all the different data feeds that go into this system. So for example, here's a few things that I love about Viewpoint. Okay, so this one here is Viewpoint. Again, it's Nova Scotia specific. So if you're coming from out of province, this is one that you might want to check out. And this is very similar look to realtor.ca, of course, with the map view. And if I scroll in, I can see a lot of the new listings and the recent sales as well. And then on the left-hand side, this is showing all of the most recent changes to the MLS system. So if I zoom in here a little bit, let's zoom into Halifax, for example. This is the thing that I really like about Viewpoint. You can see the map with all these streets here. So you have a bunch of different listings. So the red ones are ones that recently sold, and I can still click that and get into all that data. And then you have the blue ones, which are for sale. And then you have the orange ones, which are pending. So that means they have an accepted offer, but it's not yet firm. So if I go in here, one thing I really like is that you can get a really good idea of the lot and the size as it pulls this data from property online. So if I click this one, for example, I can see that it's for sale. I can click it and I can see all the info just as I always would. I can click the pictures and blow them up. And a couple things I really like about the Viewpoint website, which is really cool, is that you can see the assessment, you can see an approximate tax value, you can see price per square foot. It also ballparks what your mortgage payment is going to be. So again, these things are not perfect. It's obviously just an algorithm and data feeds that are going into this, but at least it gives you a good idea of what's going on. And you can see the land registry record. So you can see all the sales on this property that have happened in the past. So if I go to listing history, I can see that this was listed at X date, and then it was dropped and dropped and dropped, and then it did not sell. And then in 2016, it went for sale again and then sold, and now it's listed again here in 2023. So that's kind of cool that you can see the history of those listings. And the other cool part is because it shows the sold data, you can see right next door, this one just sold for $990,000. So it's easy to compare and contrast listings that hit the market of what the comparables are. So if you search around this area where this listing is, so this one here, the blue is for sale, and all these red ones are all sales that have happened recently. I believe they stay up for a year on this website. So you can click them and you can see all of the comparable sales, which is a really, really cool feature. So one thing that's important to understand is these websites are all third-party websites. They're pulling data directly from our MLS system, and Viewpoint itself is actually a brokerage in Nova Scotia as well. So if you're signing up for Viewpoint online, I'm not 100% sure, but you may or may not get emails from some of their agents looking to help you buy a home, and that's okay. It's just important that you understand that it's not just a website, it is also a brokerage as well. It's important to note that with all these websites, they're just pulling data from our MLS system, and it's called the IDX feed. So it's all the same feed going to these different websites, and basically they just show the data differently. So some of them show it very clear and you know exactly who the listing agent is and what brokerage they work for and so on. And then other sites like Viewpoint, for example, kind of disguise it a little bit more and it kind of looks like a Viewpoint listing. But as long as you understand that, it's fine. It's just a matter of how they're posting the data on their site and how the data feeds are coming into their webpage. From my standpoint, personally, I'm a big advocate of transparency in the real estate industry, and I wish we had even more of this. So to me, I don't really care how they're posting this data, as long as this data is there for you, the consumer, so that you can get all the info that you need. And that's one reason why I love Viewpoint, and most recently, realtor.ca here in Nova Scotia made this change as well. And they both show the sold prices on their websites. Now, I love this from a consumer perspective because you guys are going to be more knowledgeable and you're going to see what the sale prices are. And really, I think that's a great thing for the real estate industry as a whole, for both the consumer and us as the realtor. It obviously helps me and all of the industry members if you guys are more knowledgeable to begin with. And to be honest, that's a huge reason of why I make these YouTube videos in the first place, is because I'm a huge advocate of transparency in the industry, and I believe that a more educated and more knowledgeable consumer is good for everybody, both the consumer and all of the industry members as well. So the question is, which one of these sites is the best site to search for homes on? And honestly, that's just going to come down to personal preference. All three of these ones that I mentioned today are very powerful, and they have a great back-end system and great websites. So it's just a matter of what you like more in terms of the way they work or the way the interface is. And Viewpoint and realtor.ca also have mobile apps as well, which is obviously great for the consumer these days. All three of these websites, you can set up searches with specific parameters, and then as new listings hit the market that match your criteria, you'll either get notified or you'll get emailed, depending on the way that these systems are set up for you. Personally, I suggest to all of my buyers that I set up a collaboration center search for them, and that way they'll get an email at the end of every day if there's new listings that hit the criteria. But I also suggest that they look on their own as well. It's great for them to learn more about the market and to get educated on the market, and that way we know if they're looking. And then I also have a collab center search set up. We definitely won't miss any listings that hit their search criteria. If you're currently searching for a home in Halifax, or if you recently bought a home in Halifax and you're watching this video, I would love to hear from you of what platform you think is the best. Do you think realtor.ca is the best? Do you think Viewpoint's the best? Or do you think Collaboration Center is the best? And if so, why? I would love to hear from you in the comments below. And if you're still here watching, all I ask is that if you got any value out of this video, that you hit that like button and you hit that subscribe button, and that'll help push this content out to more people like you who might be interested in being educated on the Halifax real estate market. And until next time, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your support, and have a great day.